Hey, this is Michelle from Printables Buzz, and today I'm working on a blog post that talks all about linking in Affinity Publisher 2.0. And I thought it would be a really good idea to go through the 3 different ways I use Affinity Publisher linking on my digital planners, because each way has different perks and drawbacks. The one that is most common is linking by right-clicking and going all the way down here to interactive. And in this particular case, this tab is linked, but I can edit the hyperlink, I can delete the hyperlink, or I can go to the target, which would be the page that when you click on this button, you are going to jump to. So that is the most common way. I'm going to come down here to the second tab on this page, right click, go all the way to the bottom, hit interactive, and I'm going to insert a hyperlink. Now, this planner doesn't have many pages because it's just here to show you, but in this particular case, I am choosing the hyperlink type of page, and I am going to page 2. If you look over here on the left, in my left studio, I have a first page, which would be the cover typically, and then a second and third pages, which are blank because they're just playing today. But I am choosing to link to page 2 of this planner. So I'm gonna go ahead and say okay. Now, I want you to notice over here on the right hand side of my screen, I have chosen the hyperlink windows. And when I linked to this shape, it comes up here as hyperlink 2. But down here I have tab 1, right page, shape, tab 1, right page, text. And I have that because just grouping the text and the shape and then linking that group works about 90% of the time. If you want a guaranteed way to make sure that your tabs always click through, then it's best to have a hyperlink for the shape and a hyperlink for the text, and to have them match, which, you know, my ADHD every once in a while takes me off track and I miss that piece. But what I like about this hyperlink window over here is I can actually name this hyperlink. So I'm going to name it tab 2 on the right page, and I'm going to call it shape because that's what I actually linked to. So that is how I overcome not knowing what links where. At the end of a digital planner, you can have thousands of links. One of the things I love about Affinity Publisher is, and by the way, this is version 2.0, is the fact that I can come in here and say I want to see only the hyperlinks on page 1. I want to see the hyperlinks on page 2 and 3 because I have it set up as a facing pages with spreads. Or I can look at the hyperlinks on the master page. Now notice I have a master page and 2 pages or 3 pages with this master page applied to it. So these links that I'm putting in are actually on the master page. That's a little bonus for you. I always put the tab links in the master page, so I only have one place to go to change links. So in this particular case, I now have 3 hyperlinks going to 2 different pages, and I have them named. Now, let's say I want to add a hyperlink to the text on this page, but I don't want to right click, go down to interactive, and then select add hyperlink. The other thing I like about this hyperlinks menu is I can click this plus sign and just create this link. Now, if you notice, because we're hyperlinking to text, there is a whole new row here in this modal pop-up. It says hyperlink for character style. You know how when there's an underline on the hyperlinks on a website, that is a character style set up with a hyperlink style to it. Because these are tabs, I don't want a style associated with these tabs just because it's a hyperlink. So I'm going to change this to no style. I am still on the page and I am hyperlinking to page 3. And I'm going to say OK. Now this created yet another hyperlink 4, but if I want later to know what this is, I can rename it. So I'm going to call it tab 2, right page, and text. And go ahead and save it. Now that kind of keeps it in order for this master page, which makes my dyslexia and my ADHD very happy. But if I look down here on this side, notice that these little pieces of paper, they actually mean that this link is to a page. So it's going to a page 1, and this one is going to page 1 also, and then this one should be going to page 2. Now when we look at this one, we're going to notice I chose page 3. Well, I don't want that to go to page 3. I want it to go to page 2. In this particular case, it wouldn't have been that big a deal because page 2 and 3 are the same spread. So it's going to the same place in the planner for the most part. But I like to keep them the same going throughout. And then I'm going to say OK, and that's going to save it. So those are 2 of the 3 ways that I use hyperlinks. The other way that you can insert a hyperlink is to click on the shape or the text that you want. And if you're on a Mac, you hit Command K, and this page just automatically pops up. And we're doing tab 3. So I'm going to take this to page 3 and say OK. And then I can come back over here and not double click, but slow click and do tab 3, right page, and this is the shape. That's just my own, I don't know, OCD. I like the consistency of seeing what it is and then where it is and then whether it's a text or a shape. It allows me to go through it and see patterns throughout and follow my train of thought as I'm looking at these hyperlinks. Because one of the biggest issues with digital planner creation is figuring out where your hyperlink broke. This makes it so much easier. Well, that's it for today. I hope that you learned something a little new or refreshed an old learning pattern. And if you have questions, feel free to put them down in the comment box on YouTube, or you can always go to printablebuzz.com, and over there we have all kinds of information about creating planners in Affinity Publisher and just templates and stuff that you can download to make your own custom planner. Have an amazing day. Hugs to everyone.